Yeah. Um, my first squad leader, guy named Arnone, tough dude, and he was actually from out here in California, from Vallejo. And I always kind of wondered in the beginning, like, why was he so tough on us? And he always seemed so pissed off and angry. Excuse me.
You're good.
But once we got to once we actually got down range and things started happening, I understood why. Um, you know, hearing, we train like we fight was something that was just constantly drilled into us, and mistakes, they're inevitable, but they weren't accepted, and if they happened, they were corrected, and they were corrected in a pretty heavy-handed manner. But that's how I grew up. Like I said, kind of half-heartedly when we started this. I was a man child when I joined the military. I may have been 21 at age, but I was probably 15 at heart. I was kind of an idiot. I liked to party. Everybody told me when I joined the military, you're not going to do well. No, you don't like being told what to do. You don't like authority. And they weren't wrong, but I actually thrived in that environment. I learned pretty quickly just to shut up and do my job. And that served me well throughout my military career. Once we got downrange, it wasn't long before we took our first KIA. And it was one of the most well-respected soldiers in our unit. Top Gun and Sniper School, just one of the best. And it made it very, very clear that if one of our best soldiers can die this quickly in combat, it's going to happen to any one of us. And so it was pretty sobering, and it was definitely a coming to Jesus moment for a lot of people, especially for the guys who had never deployed before. Luckily, throughout the rest of the deployment, we didn't take too many more casualties. It was a pretty kinetic deployment, but it was one that we handled really well, and that comes from the leadership down, and training and all the other aspects of running a squared away unit. So,
Mhm. Yeah, and so I say this all the time. Like I've never been overseas in a combat deployment. Nothing like that. We went to Japan and I ate and drank all the sake and sushi and partied it up for the most part. Um, when you find out about the first KIA of the deployment, right? What's like the like how does it hit you as a unit, you know? And like obviously that's probably when it's like, oh shit, this is real. And like the mentality kind of shifts. So the next time like you leave friendly lines, you're probably a little bit more on alert. Can you touch on that a little bit?
yeah, so I mean, not only are you a little more on alert, you're a little more pissed off. And like I said, the first KIA was somebody who was very well respected. He was one of our scout snipers. And so being in the headquarters company within the battalion, he knew the first sergeants, he knew sergeant majors, he knew, our lieutenant colonels and stuff like that. So it was a top down impact on losing that soldier. And Definitely a mentality shift. Definitely, time to really button it up. And not that any mistakes were made. This was combat. This is what happens. You can be on top of your game doing everything perfectly the way it's supposed to go, and still get taken out. But I think it really, like I said, it sobered everybody up really quickly. Like, we're actually in a combat zone. We're no longer, in Germany training or in the shoot house or, wherever you may be. We're downrange. These 7.62 bullets are real, the and the we're here to do work.